Hello everyone. So today I started this new book, and this is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. I don't know if you can really see that. I got this on Audible. It was about $3. And this book is over a century old. I think it was written in 1902, 1903, something like that. But one of the reoccurring things in my life is to take a look at my thoughts, because thoughts transform into growth of the mind. I mean, for good or for bad. And this book is filled with a lot of truths, guys. It's literally less than an hour. Like I said, it's about $3. Go check it out. You can listen to it tonight. And I'm going to be touching on this a little bit more. I'm going to share with you a passage from the book and a couple of the things that, have stood out to me. And I'm going to share with that. First, though, I just got back from Vitamin Shop. This is called Maca Boost. It's filled with, let's see, I'm going to tell you the exact ingredients. Organic maca root powder. It has Siberian rhodelia and cacao ginger blend with organic raw cacao bean powder. And guys, I don't know, I've told you I like maca. It's used for sexual health and just vitality. A lot of that ginger, is good. Cacao, blood flow. I just like this stuff. I don't really take any supplements. I take creatine. I haven't been taking it too often. But yeah, this is one thing that I like to constantly take. So I'm gonna mix it up real quick. Do a little tablespoon, and then you can't leave it out. If you're new to the channel, you know how it is. Apple cider vinegar. Been taking this for a long time, guys, and a lot of people say, "Oh, that apple cider vinegar, that's snake oil." But I disagree, man. I've been taking this for about 9 months now. I have not gotten sick. My skin is the best it's ever been. I feel like it gets rid of the phlegm. You wake up kind of congested sometimes. This just cleans you out, man. I feel like I'm being transformed from the inside out. So this is kind of hard to stir, though, in this little glass. So I'm going to drink it with all those lumps, all these clumps. Here we go. Cheers. Maca. Maca. So let's get into it. As a man thinketh. He says that your thoughts are like a garden. You are a master gardener. You have complete control of the garden. And it's so important that we take time to weed out the negative, the thoughts that bring us down. I swear though, man, it's so easy to go through the day without actually realizing that I'm talking so much shit to myself. And you really have to like stop and say, hold on a second. These need to stop. I need to weed these out. I wrote down a few bullet points. So the mind is like a garden. Tend the garden of your mind. He says, weed out the bad ones and then constantly plant the good thoughts, plant the good seeds. Circumstances grow out of thought. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. And here's another one. I got some maca stuck in my throat. I'm gonna grow a maca root in my stomach. Suffering is always a thought in the wrong direction. I heard that, I was like, damn. Sometimes I have so much anxiety, and anxiety is suffering, right? We don't like to have this, or just suffering, putting ourselves in a future where that hasn't even happened yet. And we're suffering in that pain of perhaps a breakup or financial scarcity, not being able to afford this or that, or anything that could possibly go wrong. We're suffering. Suffering is always a thought in the wrong direction. It is an indication that the individual is out of harmony with themselves, with the law of his being. Suffering is to burn out that which is impure, and suffering ceases for those who are pure. I haven't really listened to all this book, but it's very powerful. It's filled with truth, but the suffering, it shows us when we're not in harmony with our true being. So think about that. And I'm going to leave you with this. This is a passage from the book, and you can listen to it right now. Here it goes, guys. Pay attention.
Analysis. Let a man radically alter his thoughts, and he will be astonished at the rapid transformation it will effect in the material conditions of his life. Men imagine that thought can be kept secret, but it cannot. It rapidly crystallizes into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. Bestial thoughts crystallize into habits of drunkenness and sensuality, which solidify into circumstances of destitution and disease. Impure thoughts of every kind crystallize into enervating and confusing habits, which solidify into distracting and adverse circumstances. Thoughts of fear, doubt, and indecision crystallize into weak, unmanly, and irresolute habits, which solidify into circumstances of failure, indigence, and slavish dependence. Lazy thoughts crystallize into habits of uncleanliness and dishonesty, which solidify into circumstances of foulness and beggary. Hateful and condemnatory thoughts crystallize into habits of accusation and violence, which solidify into circumstances of injury and persecution. Selfish thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of self-seeking, which solidify into circumstances more or less distressing. On the other hand, beautiful thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of grace and kindliness, which solidify into genial and sunny circumstances. Pure thoughts crystallize into habits of temperance and self-control, which solidify into circumstances of repose and peace. Thoughts of courage, self-reliance, and decision crystallize into manly habits, which solidify into circumstances of success, plenty, and freedom. Energetic thoughts crystallize into habits of cleanliness and industry, which solidify into circumstances of pleasantness. Gentle and forgiving thoughts crystallize into habits of gentleness, which solidify into protective and preservative circumstances. Loving and unselfish thoughts crystallize into habits of self-forgetfulness for others, which solidify into circumstances of sure and abiding prosperity and true riches. A particular train of thought persisted in, be it good or bad, cannot fail to produce its results on the character and circumstances. A man cannot directly choose his circumstances, but he can choose his thoughts, and so, indirectly yet surely, shape his circumstances.
Guys, this is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And I challenge you to go throughout today and tomorrow, and we'll be back with some more on, all about thinking, but you would look at your mind as a garden, and you are the master gardener. And to weed out the bad and sow the good. I'll see you guys tomorrow.